Would you like an opinion on a financial matter you're dealing with? Whether it's about retirement, investments, taxes, or 401ks, Scott Hansen and Pat McClain would like to help you by answering your call. To join Allworth's Money Matters, call now at 833-99-WORTH. That's 833-99-WORTH.
Welcome to Allworth's Money Matters. Scott Hansen.
Pat McClain, thanks for joining us.
Myself, my co-host, both financial advisors, decades of experience as working with individuals and families, and been doing this program for 3 decades as well. Glad you're joining us as we talk about some current stuff in the financial markets, as well as taking calls. And to join us for our program, if you want to call it, we schedule time in the studio to have a call with you. Love to have the conversation if you'd like to join us. You can send us an email at questions@moneymatters.com, or you can call 833-99-WORTH. And we're talking with Sam. Sam, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Sam?
Good. Hey, I just got a really quick question. I need some good sound advice. So I currently, at my employer, I currently have a 401k, and they have a 5% match. And I am currently investing 11% of my earnings. So essentially, I guess I'm getting 16%. Okay. Would it be beneficial for me to lower my contribution down just to the 5% match and take that additional 6% and open up a Roth IRA? And I'm 52, so I'm just worried about if I'm going to have enough time to actually get any kind of gain out of that.
So are you
or should I just stay the course?
Are you spending all the money that comes in after your contributions? Are you living on that?
Am I spending?
Are you saving any money on an after-tax basis, on an annual basis?
Yes, sir.
How much?
Well, what?
I probably have, like right now, my nest egg in cash is about $45K.
And are you married and kids and all that?
I am married, yeah, and my wife has a great job. I mean, she's in the government, so she's contributing to her TSP. I've got 2 children, one 15, one 18. The 18-year-old is getting ready to start college here in the fall, so that's another expense that we're going to be incurring.
And what's your home worth and mortgage balance?
Home worth right now is about $485, $490. I think we owe about $260 on it. And as far as income, we're probably close to $200.
And when your wife retires, what percentage of her pension will be made up of her income will be made up by her pension?
We assume she works for the federal. She works for the federal government.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So about half.
Yeah,
I think,
I am
right?
not sure on the percentage.
Yeah, it depends on. So here, the answer to the question is, you should probably.
Well, how much do you have in your retirement accounts? 401ks, IRAs.
This is my second job with my 401k. My first one, I've got about $500,000 in it, and this new one, I just recently started the job about 5 years ago. I got about 70 in it.
And what does your wife have in hers?
I don't know, about maybe 400, maybe.
So the answer to the question is, why not do both?
Oh, no, I'm planning on doing both. I just don't know if I'd be able to keep the 16% in there and add an additional, say, $5,000 a year into a Roth.
Oh, you certainly can.
Okay.
It's just choices.
Yes.
I think what would be, if you say your plan, you never want to retire and maybe you'll retire at age 70. Okay.
Oh, it better be before that. My body is breaking down.
Okay. Well, there's a direct correlation between your financial independence and how much you save.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
So that's just basic math. I think it would be helpful for you, Sam, is to do even just kind of a basic financial plan. Either you find a program online or you work with an advisor and maybe just pay an advisor fee just for a financial. You've got over roughly $1 million in investments that who knows if they're allocated perfectly or not. And you're trying to figure out how much you really need to save. And so I think if you got a picture of, all right, if you're saving at this level, here's what retirement would look like for you at age 65 or whatever age you want to look at. And if you saved at this other level, here's how that's going to impact, because there's trade-offs. And then you could make the decision, all right, I'm going to lower my contributions, and here's what it's going to mean to me, my future self. Here's what it's going to mean as far as my retirement. I'll have to work another year or two or whatever.
Scott, that is exactly what I was going to say is he needs a financial plan. Because you're asking a specific question about a tax strategy without, so the answer is yes, save as much as you possibly can. That's the right answer. But you may not have to. We don't know. It depends on what kind of pension your wife's going to receive, how soon will the home be paid off, how aggressive are your investments, what are the expected returns. If you were my little brother, I would actually, and you had hesitancy to actually have a financial plan done, I would pay for it to have done. I've done it for other relatives where they come to me with these.
That's how confident you are in the benefit of a financial plan.
Yeah, whether it's with our firm or another firm, hopefully it's with ours. And it's easy to engage a financial planner today versus 10 years ago because you can do it all digitally. You could do it on a Zoom meeting. They'll send you a list of questions and what documents they need to look at, and then you just go to a Zoom meeting, and they'll give you a completed financial plan. You're in the perfect spot right now because let's just say you wanted to retire at 62. We and I hope many other firms would be able to tell you what your financial plan, with a financial plan with high degrees of confidence, what your income would look like and your standard of living at, let's say, 62 or 65. But the answer to your question is you can do both. So without doing a financial plan, I would tell you to increase your 401k to the maximum and do a Roth IRA.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, because that's the right answer. The more money you save, the sooner you're
Well,
going
it
to be
might
able
not
to
be the right answer. He's got 2 kids, one going to college, another 15-year-old coming up. Your expenses for your kids are going to be pretty high right now, the next few years.
Right.
Well, I don't know, Scott. I don't know. I don't know what kind of how much did your parents pay of your education?
$400 a month for 2 years. Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, I have $400. No. Yeah, it was $400 a month for 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful.
So $9,600.
Yeah.
It was $9,600.
It was more. It did not cover all my expenses back then.
That's
But
right.
just
Wait. Correct. So I don't. You're correct. The trade-offs. That's what a financial plan will
That's
actually
right.
tell you.
because you can't have everything.
Yeah.
You can't have a low contribution and an early retirement.
Yes.
Right.
And maybe the kids, you help them out, maybe you don't. I mean, that's entirely up to you and your relationship with the kid.
I mean, by doing the plan, and it's not like maybe 25 years ago, financial plan would be go see someone, they give you a big binder of all these printouts. It's a dynamic approach where you can sit down with an advisor and do some what-if scenarios. All right, what if we contribute this much to our child's college costs? What impact is that going to have on our current lifestyle or our retirement or both? And so you can make informed decisions. Then you might go to your kid and say, hey, look, we're going to pay X dollars. You're going to have to get a job and get a loan or both or whatever, right? So,
but the answer to your original question was yes, makes the maximum contribution to the 401k and do a Roth IRA for both you and your wife.
Now, are you talking the maximum to their match or just whatever I can just throw at it?
Yeah, whatever the plan allows. That's the answer.
In a perfect world.
In a perfect world, save as much money as you possibly can, which is the maximum in the 401k. And then, but that's what a financial plan will tell us.
But then you're like, well, then I don't have a good enough lifestyle right now. And you say, okay, well, there's a trade-off. Then I'm going to not contribute the maximum, and that's going to have an impact on my future. What is that impact? And then you make those decisions.
But that's the point exactly, which is that you actually know what the cost benefit is
That's
with
right.
a financial plan.
That's exactly right.
Right? You're like, oh, well, I'm just going to continue like I am. Okay, well, then you work till 67. Oh, but if
Or
I
70.
increase this, you work till you're 62, and then you make the decision. And because you make the decision, it allows you to stick to the savings objectives that you've set for yourself. Because if you don't know where you're going,
That's right.
you don't know how to get there, right? You never actually start on a journey. You said, okay, we're going to go on vacation. We don't know where we're going. We're just going to get in the car and drive. Like, what kind of vacation is that?
I don't know. There's part of me that would like to do that sometime, though.
Have you,
no, of
though?
course not. But it does sound kind of thrilling. Let's just go.
Have you known anyone that ever has?
Till the first town, I'm trying to find a crappy motel late at night. And I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
But that's the idea behind a financial plan.
Got it.
Right. And you're looking
All right,
for a
got it.
financial plan where someone is actually really trying to help, not sell you a product.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Just do it.
Which is why you
Certified
might,
financial planner.
and maybe you start with a fee for service, which is you pay for the financial plan.
Wish you well, Sam, and enjoy that first one heading off to college. Sounds like heading off to college.
I never lived in a dorm. Did you live?
No,
in a
I never
dorm?
lived in a dorm. I lived at home for a couple years after. I didn't have a lot of options.
There weren't.
There was no, hey, Scott, which school would you like to
You didn't have
send you
that
to?
conversation.
And the federal loans were different back then. They weren't as large. I don't think I would have had an option of borrowing enough money to go and live in a dorm somewhere.
I think
Were they?
I got student loans. I think they were $2,500.
I mean, like now you can get a student loan to cover your dormitory and your meal plan.
It was 25
probably some mental health breaks,
I had mine was
yoga class.
$2,500. Was it a semester? All I know is I actually took that money and I had a brokerage account at a Dean Witter.
And I mean, I didn't qualify for student loan because I made too much money in my summer job. If you made like over $9,000, you couldn't get a student loan. And I remember I had friends that would quit working
To get the student loan.
to get the student loan. I'm like, this was
Doesn't
30
make
some years ago. None of this makes almost 40 years ago. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yes.
It was 40 years ago. 41 years ago. And I mean, we don't even want to get into the issue of the student loan crisis.
Yes.
Clearly crisis. You can see what happens when the government gets too involved in one area.
Yes. Yeah. When capital chases an asset, it causes the price to go up. Think about the mortgage crisis when it
was caused by the government getting them back in every loan.
every loan.
And the same thing when you have all this money flooding the universities because it's essentially free when you're 18. What? I just sign this thing and I don't have to pay. I'm going to get a great job making a ton of money when I graduate with my whatever studies degree I've got. Government created it, the problem.
Yes. Well, yes. I'm not going to go any more there.
Well, I don't think there'd be many people disagree with you.
Government actually solves a lot of problems too.
That is correct. Yes, but we like to point out the things that that play a crucial role in society.
It's dynamic.
Yes, correct.
Religion helps a lot of people. It can hurt a lot of people as well, depending upon where you are on the spectrum.
I suppose, yeah.
In what religion?
Yeah, yes, and who your leader is.
That's right.
All right, let's talk Raja. Raja, you with Allworth Money Matters.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm a client of Allworth Money Management.
Oh,
and you guys have done a wonderful job.
Okay, well, thank you. Just for full disclosure for everybody else, we probably have other clients that aren't happy with us that we haven't done a wonderful job. But anyway, okay, continue on, just to keep our legal department happy.
So my question is related to this tariffs. It seems to be a moving goalpost. I have my own opinions of it. But what is the end goal of all these tariffs? You can have tariffs,
yes.
And if a shipload of cars from pick a name, Toyota from Japan shows up in Los Angeles, it all comes from the same place. It all comes from the same organization, same entity, and you can say, I'm going to charge $1,000 a car. There are 1,000 cars in that ship. So 1,000 times 1,000, you get $1 million in tariffs. It's pretty straightforward math. So one aspect of it is the collection. But if there is a container and people inside that container, who is going to do the necessary checking, the auditing, the manifest checking, make sure that there is nothing hidden in them that will escape the tariffs? With all these cuts in staff, where are the people?
Oh, well, one step better. So many countries that have heavy tariffs on them will actually export to a third country and then to disguise the origin of that particular product and then ship to the U.S., right? And so they are actively trying to disguise the origin
That's right.
of that particular product in order to bypass a tariff. But
You asked what the end goal, Roger. I think this is one of those areas that most people are scratching their heads at. Even the diehard MAGA folks are like, "Why is this?" I guess if you're that diehard MAGA,
I have an
think Trump's
opinion
a
about
god.
this. What I think he's trying to do is to actually rebuild a blue collar working class in the United States for both security, global, world security. So that if you look at how World War II was won, it was on the field, on the battlefield, but also in the manufacturing of those the equipment. And the other is to make it a more even playing field across the world. Because quite frankly, if you have a centrally controlled government like you do in China and in Russia and in many other countries that actually, you could say these companies are publicly traded, but they're subsidized and actually controlled by the government. And so the idea behind it, at least my opinion, is Trump is trying to level the field to say, look, if the government's going to subsidize solar, let's say in China, and crush our solar industry manufacturing in the United States, well, any of that money that you actually put in to actually help it, we're going to take back out in order to level the field. Ultimately, though, at the end of the day, who pays the tariff?
The consumer.
The consumer pays the tariff.
And that's the other thing that people forget is, remember the American Revolution started in Boston with the Boston Tea Party?
I mean, I think that's the story. Yeah.
Yes. It was more taxation
just
without
going with
representation.
Yeah.
It was taxation without representation.
That's a popular story.
That's right. Yeah,
that was what started the violence.
Okay.
The actual shooting started because of that.
Yeah. Well, it was taxation without representation, and it was colonization. It was colonization, and by the way, it wasn't just the U.S. I mean, if you look at the French and how much colonization that they did around the world, but we're not going to turn this into a history show. But the idea is, and quite frankly, the idea is to drive these other countries to the table to renegotiate these deals. I don't think it's necessarily to actually impose the tariff. It's to make it an even playing field, which is, hey, if you're going to charge us 30% tariff on our products, we're going to charge you X on your product. And so it's to lower, and it's worked, quite frankly. And by the way, I think this whole thing is kind of chaotic and crazy, but you've seen this with some of the software companies.
Most people on the tariffs are like, really? Is this the battle? You're like, most people are not big fans of Trump's tariff push.
Correct, but
right?
but the motivation behind the tariffs is to drive other countries to the bargaining table.
So if your concern is like what this is going to do to the economy, just keep in mind a couple things. One is like if Trump gets too crazy, the power of the Congress is going to slap him back into place. And there's some people that are absolutely terrified of the economy because he's the president. Absolutely terrified. Others, complete opposite. Right? But also companies can be very creative in how they do things and ways to skirt the tariffs and ways to be.
Yeah. We have lived through periods of tariffs in our history, American history, early 20th century, late 19th century. We had tariffs and the economy boomed. So I'm not questioning the whole tariff question, and it is required. We need tariffs against certain products. But what I don't understand is the end goal, and having a blanket tariffs on things like tea and coffee, which we don't get in this country. You don't grow it in this country.
Raja, the headline number that you see in these tariffs is designed just to drive other countries to the table to actually, and whether it's real or not, it's because this administration believes that it's an unfair field that we're actually playing on with many of these countries.
And it is unfair. I mean, why we pay a higher tariff than they pay on our goods doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right? But if you could drive them to the table with this threat of, look, we're going to drive you to the table because we're going to do this tariff. The tariff may never occur, but it may lower tariffs on the exported products from the U.S. into that particular country. And you don't hear about that, right? What you hear about is the other country says, well, we're going to increase your tariffs. You're like, okay, go ahead and increase your tariffs. And then we're crushing both of us, right?
Yeah. Mutual destruction.
Yeah. But it will work itself out.
One way or the other.
It will work itself out.
One way or the other.
It could be very inflationary, but it could also drive a lot of
But the inflationary would be a one-time inflation, essentially.
Yes.
Like this morning, I put on my pair of pants I put on this morning. I noticed a little tag, made in Vietnam. It's this morning. Made in Vietnam. Pants I like, putting on, and I thought, I wonder how much more expensive these. I don't know what our tariff is. I think it's been on the news. I think like quite a bit of goods and services are made. Goods are made in Vietnam these days. And I thought, I wonder how much more my pants would go up. But it would just be. Let's say I spent $100 for my pants, and let's say the tariff's 20%. Maybe it goes up to $115 once. But it's not an annual. It's not an annual increase.
And
on that.
what you would actually do
It'd be a
is
one-time
you would change how you consume. Which is
buy less pants.
Yeah, no, but it's good for like the inflationary where they have a market basket of goods. It assumes that that people don't respond to pricing, but people absolutely respond to pricing.
That's right. And if coffee got too expensive, I'd switch to tea.
Yes, and if tea got too expensive, I'd Red Bulls. I guess.
Red Bull. Raj, I wish we had good answers for you.
Yeah, but my belief is it's to drive these other countries to the table to negotiate. Not only, I don't think the intent is actually to raise the tariffs. It's to lower the tariffs against U.S. goods going into that particular country.
But that's the end goal.
I believe that's the end goal.
Yeah, to make it more competitive. Our products more competitive globally.
Globally, right? And it's actually, we've seen this with some of the like Meta. Some of these beneficiaries of this have actually been the big technology companies because
they need more breaks.
Well, that's so. Anyway, appreciate the call and thank you for being a client of Allworth.
Yeah, thanks, Raja. Yeah, and it's what is really fascinating though is when you look at the stock market, as the broad indexes anyway, are higher today than when Trump announced the Liberation Day.
Yes.
You got to hand it to him for at least trying something. Like he's not afraid to go out there with some audacious statement on everything.
On everything.
Everything's another TV show for him, I think. It's Liberation Day. And that doesn't go over, no big deal. We'll just do something different tomorrow.
Yes. Listen, both sides of the political spectrum, the Dems and the Republicans have, many people have dirt on their hands.
All right, let's continue on with calls. We're talking with John. John, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hi, Pat and Scott. Thanks for having me on. Can you hear me just fine?
Yes, sir.
Well, I just have to say if coffee gets too expensive, I won't be switching to tea or Red Bull. I'll be going down with the ship. But
okay. All his money's at coffee now. Can't afford anything else. My coffee is. I spend $1,200 a month on coffee, but
it would be.
How can we help?
Just a little bit about me. I'm 24. I recently graduated just this past spring, so I started my first full-time job 2 months ago. In terms of assets, just my checking and savings, I have about $2,500 in there, and then salary, I'll be making $65,000, and I kind of foresee lots of room for growth in the future, just in the field that I'm in. Hopefully, I'm hoping within 5 to 6 years, I'm at least somewhat close to six figures, and I believe that's pretty realistic. Monthly expenses, I'm kind of in a blessed situation living with my brother, but so I'm just around $1,500 a month.
In expenses?
Yeah, around $1,500 a month, just excluding some bigger picture stuff that I have outlined. Within the next year or two, I'd like to buy a truck, maybe within the range of $25,000 to $30,000, and maybe putting $10,000 down on it. So, and then maybe in 4 years, saving for a house. But so that's kind of some bigger picture stuff I have over the next few years.
I love this call, John.
I have no debt. Oh,
I love
have
this
no
call.
debt. I was also blessed. I went to Weber State University, and so it was relatively cheap and still provided pretty good schooling. And for I had gaps, like my parents helped me out.
Do you have any student
Retirement
loans? Student loans?
No, no loans. So for retirement accounts, I do have a Roth IRA that I was putting a little bit in, like during school, but it just has $1,100 in it. For a 401k, I can't contribute yet. I have to wait until after being 3 months with the employer. So that'll be next month. But once that happens, I definitely want to contribute, quite a bit amount, and they'll also match up to 5%. And I have an HSA as well, so it's at 0, but I'm trying to max it out this year so that I can obtain like the investment aspect sooner, because I think I have to have 2,000 in there before they'll let me invest it.
What was your degree in?
Supply chain management. So I'm a buyer here in the Salt Lake region.
And what's your main question for us?
So I have a few questions. One is just, how much should I allocate to retirement accounts? So I've kind of built a spreadsheet because my main goals is I want to make sure that I have enough to save up for a house and, still being able to, fulfill my expenses.
And what's a house cost in your area?
What's that?
What's a house cost in your area?
I haven't done too much looking, but like I said, I'm kind of thinking 4 years out. My brother bought a house 4 years ago, and he was lucky enough that he got like a 2.6 interest rate before everything kind of spiked. And he bought his for $400,000, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2 baths. I don't know how many acres it is. It's kind of like your standard house. Home prices are a little bit pricey here in general. If you talk to anyone in Utah that's looking for a home, everyone will complain that, that they're overpriced or whatever. So I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So here's my, just remember this. It's just as easy to fall in love with a rich girl as a poor one. That was advice from my grandmother, which I did not take.
all right. So we'll give you some financial. By far, your best investment is in your own career.
100%.
So it's interesting because you see a lot of these articles. Well, if you start saving in an IRA, $2,000, whatever, then at age 22, or if you wait till 30, okay, that's all great. And most people are 22 are dead broke, right? So your ticket to financial independence is going to be more reliant upon what you can deliver in the marketplace and what you can negotiate to get paid for in the marketplace, much more than what you're going to save in financial assets.
Which means, another way of saying, be the first one in the office and the last one to leave and the most productive person that you have ever met.
Figure out how to continue to increase your skill sets. You're more valuable to the marketplace.
Act like an owner, not like an employee.
Right.
And by far, and I see it in our own organization with young people that come out of college, some have this attitude, which is, I'm going to really give it up for the company. And others have an attitude, which is, hey, this company owes me something. What do you mean? There's more than 40 hours a week? Well, yeah. As I tell my own children, I have 4 in your age range. You would be my youngest. It's a half-time job. You can work any 12 hours of the day you want, right? Which doesn't always go over well. But you know why I love this call? So we, over the 4th of July weekend, 2 of my children had their friends up. We've got a little cabin at Lake Tahoe, had their friends up, and 3 of their friends stepped aside and asked me questions like financial, like, this is what I've got, this is how I'm doing, what do you think? And my answer is exactly the answer Scott gave you.
So we'll help you, like the financial things to do. But if you find yourself spending a lot of time on your spreadsheet, I'd spend more time on how do you be more valuable to your employer and to the marketplace and whole. Not so much follow your dreams or do what you love. It's the balance between what you're good at, what you love, and what the marketplace will pay for.
And what you love is number 3 on the list.
Or learn how to love what pays you well, right? I mean, kind of a financial independence is your goal. So having said all that, I think the Roth IRA is your best place to start. even if you want to use the money for purchase of a house, any of your contributions can come out tax-free. It's either going to be used for a down payment or if for some reason I've got enough money elsewhere, I can leave that for my retirement. It gives you that flexibility.
Right. And then you want to do the maximum in the 401k as well.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I have. My spreadsheet's kind of static. It doesn't take into account if I, do get, bonuses or
when,
maybe
not do, not do, when. Because you're going to work your butt off and you will get the bonuses. So it's not when I do, when I get the bonuses.
I'll tell them that Pat said that I'm going to get bonuses.
Please do. Yeah. Well, don't forget, look, it's like, so we've been employers for a number of years. And people get not only what they deserve, but also what they negotiate. And those that have worked hard and also come periodically like, hey, here's why I need more money. As an employer, you end up, I hate to say it, that's just kind of how it works. They end up getting paid a little more. So don't.
Yeah. Ask early, ask often.
You don't want to ask too often.
But make sure you bring in value. The worst thing is an employee that actually doesn't add a lot of value and is actually on the edge. And they continue to ask for it because you're like, I'm not even going to have the conversation.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but your needs at home are not my problem, really.
Do you remember the one guy that came in because his wife wanted a boat?
No, I don't.
And he needed a raise because his wife wanted a boat. You don't remember this?
No.
Well, we probably had 20 employees at the time. I thought this is the craziest thing.
That is hilarious. Your personal wants and desires at home is completely irrelevant to what the market needs.
Yeah, I don't see how your wife wanting a boat actually affects my business, but go for it. So, so maximum into the 401k and the Roth IRA?
So, well, I guess, I was just going to say, since it is static, my spreadsheet, I was going to say, right now I'm allocating that I can have like 20% from my salary going to my 401k. Should I maybe lower that just in case I have like, some other unknown?
I would probably lower. I'm not too terribly concerned about your financial security going forward. And let's make sure you have that money for a house.
Yeah.
So maybe you put in 10% in your 401k. And do the Roth.
As long as, and you sound disciplined, obviously. You're calling a financial talk show. You're 24 years old.
That's right. We're not worried about you.
You show me someone that doesn't worry about money. I'll show you someone that doesn't have any. You sound very disciplined. Yes. And then start saving it and then put it in a high yield money market, the money that you want to save for a home.
Put it in the high yield money market. That was one of my other questions.
Yeah.
And along with that, just like, so you were saying for the house, initially I was thinking that the Roth IRA would be a great place for it because I could pull the contributions.
Yeah.
But then I got thinking, well, if I want it in 4 years, is that actually a bad place because the market's
invest it in a secure type of investment. Invest it in a high yield money market account. Don't worry about the market.
In the Roth IRA.
Yeah, that's what I would do. It just gives you the flexibility at that point if you don't need it. You've got all this extra money that you're
Roth.
never going to be taxed on.
Yeah, in the Roth. So it just gives you that flexibility. So remember, the tax vehicle isn't the investment vehicle.
That's right.
So the tax vehicle is the Roth, but because they allow the withdrawals from the Roth, the deposit's tax-free. Go figure.
It's been that way since first Senator Roth came out with it.
Yeah. When they're trying to make the tax code easier. So that's what I would do.
With an emergency fund, I do also want to start building one up over the next 4 years. Do people typically just put those in a high yield savings account?
Yes.
Or,
Yes. But again, invest in yourself.
Right. Let's see if I had. And then in terms of like where I should be invested in the Roth, I mean, you were saying money markets, but in general in the Roth IRA, outside of, for a house or whatever down the road.
Money market. So look, if you're planning on buying a house in 4 years, the worst thing you could do is say, I'm going to invest in this ETF or this growth thing. And you get to the point where, your income's up, you've got some money saved, you're now about to go look at houses, and there's a downturn in the financial markets, and your $50,000 that you've got set aside for a down payment is now worth $35,000.
And you won't buy the house. But to your point exactly, John, which is, look, keep it in the money market. If you don't need that money,
then you invest it later.
Then you invest it. So you buy a house and you didn't need the money in the Roth, then you invest it. And 100% of your portfolio for long term should be in equities.
Yes.
So just
100%.
the S&P 500 though.
Or a total market, maybe some international as well.
When you say total market, you just mean the S&P, right?
No.
S&P 500.
Wilshire 5000.
Which includes the Wilshire 5000, which includes the S&P 500.
So if you look at the market cap of the United States, and then the ballpark, 75% is comprised of the S&P 500, 15% are in mid-cap stocks, and the remainder in small-cap stocks. Somewhere right in there, right?
Yeah, it's 7.5.
Whatever. It's
17,
ballpark, right?
Correct.
Ballpark. And so it may be something like 75 or 80% in the total market and the remainder in international markets.
My last question I have for the HSA, like I was telling you, I have nothing in there right now since I just started with my employer, but I was planning on maxing it out this year so I can just start investing that sooner.
Yep.
And then over the next years, I thought, well, maybe I'll just invest, half of the max, so like 2,200 or whatever. But how much does someone actually need in their HSA? Like, if do I want to have $100,000? When I'm 60, retired or whatever.
If you're putting in $2,000 a year, you're gonna have more than $100,000 by the time you're 65. Well, who knows what the laws are going to be? I mean, these are.
Yeah, the HSA should be the last investment vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how much do you recommend putting in there? I guess I just don't know.
You want to maximize that after you've accomplished all your other objectives.
Yeah. So the 401k to the maximum.
I've maxed mine out for the last several years. I don't take any withdrawals from it.
As have I, but we're not 24-year-old.
I understand.
John.
So I wouldn't, if I was 24, I probably wouldn't worry about maximizing.
Yeah, I'd use the 401k. I would use the Roth IRA.
I'd rather have money in a Roth than money in an HSA.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I would use the HSA. I question that. I would do the 401k to the maximum first, the Roth IRA to the maximum, then, only then would I start using the HSA as an investment vehicle.
Okay.
Right? In that order.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Well,
what did your parents do for a living, John?
Well, my dad growing up was a cop up until about when I was the age of 8, and then he moved over. He's spent the last 18 years or so working for an oil and gas company, but he's a field tech.
Oh, okay.
And so he makes pretty.
And the reason I asked
the question
is because I'm thinking this kid sounds like he was raised by a pack of engineers.
Well, I guess you could say I lived with my brother for the past 4 years, and he's a welding engineer.
Okay.
He'd probably say that he raised me. So
okay, all right, perfect. Well, keep up the great work. You're fine. We're fine. Remember, it's bring value to the marketplace.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's by far, in a way, where you're going to create wealth. So, appreciate the call, John.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right. I was funny. I was on a bike ride earlier this morning with a friend of mine. His kid's 19 or 20, and I don't think he's going to college right now. He's got a kind of a going nowhere job, so his dad's a little concerned about his future. He's a bright kid and all that. But he's 19. He's still growing up, but he saves a ton.
Oh,
like half his income.
Wow.
Maximize. But then we're having this conversation. Wouldn't you rather have a job where he's got some career advancement and maybe have a little more social life and not saving as much? He's like, oh, absolutely, I would rather have that. But this is, at least he's got this one area of his life. He's saving more than.
He's got it all buttoned down.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But it's funny. You listen to a call like that, and I'm just thinking, how many of listeners are thinking, man, I wish my kid was thinking like that. As I was thinking, I wish my kid was thinking. Well, actually, my kids are
they're
quite responsible when it comes to the finances and doing well.
And when it comes,
my son listens to this program now. He's an avid listener.
Well, shout out! So my kids have flown. 2 of my children have flown three of them JSX in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, you're kidding? That's where my son's.
That's why I said I said check to see if Blake Hansen's flying.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So.
Also, want to let you all know about a webinar that we've got coming up. The title of this webinar is Inside a Multi-Million-Dollar Portfolio, a Case Study in Advanced Planning for 2026. So in this exclusive new case study webinar, we'll take you behind the scenes to reveal how we helped one couple find blind spots and their wealth strategy. And then we refine their approach for growth, tax efficiency, and long-term confidence. And doing the webinar is Davis Blomquist. He's a certified financial planner professional, a longtime cornerstone of one of our education efforts. And you may have heard Davis speak before, but he's engaging. It's an informative approach. He's a trusted resource, really, for those seeking clarity and confidence with their wealth planning. And during this webinar, you're going to learn how we connected investment strategy, tax planning, and retirement timing into one coordinated plan designed to support some forward-looking decisions. Also, some tax-efficient tactics that households with multi-million-dollar portfolios can often overlook, and how they can help optimize these results over time. And really also just a pivotal mindset shift that a couple made that changed how they evaluated their risk, their opportunities, and the year ahead. So this webinar, if you want to be part of it, the webinar is being aired 4 different times: Wednesday, January 14th, Saturday, January 17th, Thursday, January 22nd, and Saturday, January 24th. You can register for free, but you do need to register. Simply go to allworthfinancial.com/workshops to get the information and to register. All the time we've got. It's been great being with you. Scott Hansen and Pat McClain of Allworth's Money Matters.
This program has been brought to you by Allworth Financial, a registered investment advisory firm. Any ideas presented during this program are not intended to provide specific financial advice. You should consult your own financial advisor, tax consultant, or estate planning attorney to conduct your own due diligence.